There's a booth I've been trying to get through the whole show, and it is not this one, but no, it is. Let's do that again.
They're not here. You're
not here
now.
I'm just testing to see what kind of a guy Jake is, because we've only just met, and I was mainly looking at your guitars rather than talking to you.
That's true.
Jake from Balaguer Guitars. Am I saying that correctly?
Balaguer, yes.
Balaguer.
Close. Yes.
Okay.
If you can swallow your R's, it's even better. Even though we don't do that in English, we think it's hilarious. Balaguer.
Balaguer.
Balaguer. Doesn't that sound more romantic?
Balaguer.
Balaguer. It's like
Antonio Balaguer. You killed my father.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're good.
Yes, no.
That is a Princess Bride reference that has got nothing to do with the guitars.
Shout out if you know it.
You said we should start on that side, right? It's your first guitar summit.
Yes.
And people finally get to play your guitars outside of the US, even unless they bought one, right?
Yes, correct. So we've done a number of things from like production to custom. Most of the stuff that's made its way to Europe has been custom stuff. So for us to be able to bring a little bit of everything so that people can play what we hope to end up in stores soon, and then also the custom stuff is the idea, right?
It's the dream.
That is the dream. And starting, for example, with something like this. So this is Dan O'Connor of 4 Year Strong's signature Thicket. The Thicket is the model. Yeah, very cool layout. We said, we'll do whatever you want. He said, I want nothing. I don't want to break anything on stage. I want it to function all the time, no matter what. So no extra bits, basically flat plate bridge. One of our humbuckers, we do make our own pickups. So it's our ferrule humbucker. Rustic finish, which probably won't come across, but it's like an open pore finish. So it's like not grain filled to be completely flat.
It is still fairly flat, but there's a nice bit of realism there.
Yeah, and what's cool is it ages extremely well. So like the ones that he's had for about a year now, when you see them, they're like worn out where he plays them. It's very cool. Roasted maple neck, stainless steel frets, locking tuners. All of our guitars have those features, and also our 16-inch radius. Yes.
Super flat. Why super flat?
So basically, it makes it so that you can set it up however you want it. So for instance, I tend to set up most of my guitars for like slidey boy, fancy shenaniganery, right? So if I'm doing that, I can set it up to be flatter with higher action and a little extra relief, and it's fine. But if you want to set it to the deck, ice rink smooth, Zamboni's just passed, right? Skates on. If you want to do that and get super shreddy, you can do that too. So the flatter radius, we, in our opinion, think just basically removes the limits of what a radius might do for you on like a vintage guitar.
Jake, I agree with you.
There you go. I knew I wasn't completely crazy. So it really is all about just giving you the options.
Sure.
And
then, as far as saying I don't see why there needs to be a rounder.
I mean, for me, coming from playing more vintage styled stuff before I was with Balaguer, because I played them before I worked for them, so I'm not just drinking the Kool-Aid.
Nice.
But
you're making it as well.
Yes. So that was pretty good. So
You're welcome.
Yeah. So I got used to it, and it just at this point it's so easy to set it up however I want it that I'm just not really worried about it. And a 9-inch radius, a 12-inch radius, I get it. For some people that's great, but if I don't want any limits, to me, the 16-inch is the way to go. And I've played flatter things like 20, like the Mark Holcomb signature and stuff, and it feels great, but it's definitely not as well balanced. I think this is sort of the middle ground.
So that guy ducked after he went under the camera. I know, we're in the way, right? We're in the way.
We are.
But I just made it really funny that he ducked after the camera.
He just it caught him 3 seconds too late. That's okay.
It's amazing. I feel your tiredness. Yeah. I just want the world to be built for me.
I understand. Basically, taller doorways and that sort of thing, right?
My massive ego to go through.
Yes, certainly nothing to do with your massive height, stature. So this is an Espada, which is basically our flagship model. This is the most popular model. We released this in 2017, I believe was the year, and it just sort of took on a life of its own. And obviously, when we think about Balaguer, we think about vintage inspiration, modern design, right? That's the tagline. So this is that to us.
I dig this, Jake. I think this is great. I don't think your website does it justice. I've seen it on there. Not that there's anything wrong with the website, but I'm much more attracted to this in person than I was online.
Well, I will say I've had multiple people throughout the show come by the booth and say I wanted to see it in person.
Yeah.
And when they see it in person, it's definitely a different vibe. You know, it just comes across slightly different in 3D space when you're actually there. And this one is a USA series, so completely USA made. Again, it has our pickups in it. These are our ferrule pickups. It's got all Hipshot hardware, which we aged ourselves. Roasted flame maple neck and fingerboard, which is super rad.
Wow, that is pretty. Very pretty.
This is, I debated, as humbly as I can say this, I debated putting it like backwards on the stand, even though it looks, you know, because the neck is just so good on this one.
You coward.
I know. You think I'd have the chutzpah to really like get it done, you know? But no, I do not.
I'm going to be a coward now and move on to this because this is the least Andy that you have.
I like it.
Oh, it's also weighty.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So there are a couple of reasons. One, it has a Hipshot contour trim on it, which does add a bit of weight. It has 3 pickups, obviously, instead of 2 or 1, which adds a bit of weight. And it's also a 7-string, and it's also a baritone 7-string. So all of that adds a little bit of weight. Certainly more than those 2. Still not bad, but what's great about this, so this is our Diablo model. It's relatively new compared to these 2 models, but it has essentially caught up with them in sales in some ways because it's become just crazy popular. This is the carved top version, which is super rad. HSH 24 frets, basically built for versatility. This is the metallic Lake Placid blue. And, you know, coil splitting for both the humbuckers, 5-way switch so you can split the humbucker, hit the in-between sounds in the middle. If you wanted to go like Strat style with it, you could do that. This one also has, I mentioned the baritone scale, 26.5-inch scale.
So what we tuned to here?
This is in drop A flat. So if a regular 7-string's in B standard, we tune that a half step down, basically E flat, and then drop it a whole step. Drop it like it's hot.
Okay, now you've told me all that. Now I dig it. You know, I was like, that is the one I least connect with, and now it might be the one I connect with most, just because I think it's fun.
Well, and I'll tell you too, there are a couple of cool things about this one, like having the black back and sides against the metallic top, and the 5-piece neck, which adds like extra stability. This is roasted maple and walnut. Very cool. But I defy you to play this for a moment, even if you only play it as a 6-string. And not enjoy the neck profile, because I've played a lot of 7-strings that it feels like they took the 6-string and then like didn't know how to make the neck bigger. Sure. But it's something we focus on. So when you play that, it still feels comfortable and normal. And coming from me, who definitely did not come from playing 7-strings, when I played the first Balaguer 7 and even our 8, which I don't, you know, I am nowhere near talented enough to play, but it just doesn't feel that weird. Which is really cool, you know, to pick something up and you want to try it and spend time, and it's cool. Yeah.
I like switches.
Me too.
Well, on behalf of the whole of Europe and the rest of the world, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Am I officially civilized now?
I have no idea.
Cultured, maybe?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay, well, I am going to do that, and I want to say that there are links in the video description, so you can go and check out their sort of, what do you call it? The
online configurator.
Online configurator, thank you.
Yes,
that's
build your
a
own
bunch of
guitar.
fun. Even if you don't buy one, just go and give them your email address, and then
Yes.
they'll hound you until you do.
Yes, just don't email me when you become addicted and are building guitars 3, 4, 5, 10 times a day, because I know how that goes.
Jake, thanks for your time, man.
Andy, thank you, dude.
Cheers. Cheers. There are more guitars, there are more people like Jake in this playlist of the Guitar Summit 2024. Go and watch those if you want, or use the online configurator, or, dare I say, go and practice guitar.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, see you in the next one.